Good morning, everybody. It's Sean Farmer here. September 5th, 2018. Where has this year went, right? I mean, today is the opening day for NFL football. Kids are back in school. Summer is almost over, which means we're going to start talking about fall and then winter. Ugh. Um, it's just crazy how fast time flies. And we were just talking about this the other day, a week ago. And it kind of got me to thinking that the year going by as quick as it has been, it also caused me to think about like where I'm at in my life, and it caused me to do some reflection. And I went to the library and I picked up a really good book. It's still reading it. It's called Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. If you can find this book, guys, it's a really, really good book so far. He's authored a lot of books, but this particular one is really good and should have it in most libraries. Um, I'm only about 120 pages in, but so far I've got so much information. I'm actually going to read this book all the way through and then go back and read it again a little bit slower and take notes as I go. But one of the things that he was talking about in that book there was, besides the fact that we all come to the conscious decision that we don't like where we're at in our life. Like for me, example, I'm sitting here thinking about the year's almost over. Where am I at financially? Where am I at with my job? Is it where I want to be? Is it where I thought I would be at the age of 46? And it's not. And so I'm making that conscious decision to change that. It's time to start making a change. And as I was reading in this book, the first thing that Mr. Canfield was saying was that before anything can happen, we all have to first assume full responsibility for where we're at in our life. We have to assume full responsibility for our life and the decisions that we have personally made that got us to where we're at the point in our lives now. To understand that I am the cause of everything that I'm going through or that I went through, not anyone else or circumstances, me, right? He's also put in there that, we all have to stop blaming everyone else and acknowledge that we have created everything, and that, again, everything that we're going through, and only we can take charge in our lives and create the future that we want and change things, right? The point that stuck out in his book there was the blame part. That we have to stop blaming everybody. We live in such a crazy society where every time something happens, the first thing people want to do is blame someone else. They want to blame something that happened to them when they were a child, or they want to blame the way they were treated in school, or the way they were treated at a job, instead of taking a step back and realizing that everything happens because of the decisions that we made. And he had two good quotes in his book. One was by author Wayne Dyer, D-Y-E-R, who said that all blame is a waste of time. No matter how much fault you find with another, and regardless of how much you blame him, it will not change you. And I thought that was so fitting that, no matter how many people we blame for our situation, or how many circumstances or excuses we find to blame stuff on, it's not going to change us. We're still going to be where we're at. And the only way that's going to happen is if we change ourselves, right? And the other quote was by George Washington Carver, who said that 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. Again, this falls back to the same thing. Something happens to somebody and they make an excuse of why they did it, and then they always want to, it's excuses, want to blame somebody else or a situation, and it's never because of the decisions that they made. Everything that we've experienced in this life is a result of how we responded to earlier events in our life. And Mr. Canfield gave a couple examples in his book, and I just wanted to read some of those to you. One of them was that we didn't go back to school, and now our boss has given the promotion to somebody else in the company. So who's to blame for that? Most people would get upset with their boss, or they would be upset with the person that passed them, when in all reality, shouldn't be upset with anybody but themselves for not going and getting the proper schooling needed to get the promotion. Another example that he gave was we didn't take time to maintain our car, and now we're sitting on the side of the road, with a broken down car. Again, most people would want to blame the type of car. It's a Chevy or it's a Ford. I shouldn't have bought it, or the dealer gave me a bad car. I want to blame somebody, when in all actuality, if they just would have taken the car in for its routine maintenance or changed the oil properly like they were supposed to, the car wouldn't be broke down, right? So again, they want to blame everybody else instead of taking full responsibility because it's easier. Last point that that I wrote down here was that it didn't take time to take the dogs to obedience training, and now they're out of control. So, first initial thought, I think, with people, they would blame the type of dog. Oh, well, I shouldn't have got this breed of dog because it's their personality. Someone gave, I got this dog, and the person that had it before me didn't treat it right. And in all actuality, what it comes down to is the fact that you didn't take it to obedience training, and now it's just not listening to you. So the only person you had to blame was you, right? Another situation that he gave that most people would blame, things on instead of taking full responsibility was, you say you got a $400 bonus, and you chose to go out on a night on the town and spend it all, and now you wake up the next morning and you're broke. Well, who made the decision to go out and spend the money? You did. If you're complaining about being broke, if you would have just taken that $400 and invested in a mutual fund, your net worth would now be a little bit, higher, right? But instead you chose to go out and spend it. So nobody to blame there but yourself. So, as Mr. Canfield has said, we've all had the ability in the past to make things different, to get better results for our life, but for whatever reason we chose not to do that and chose not to make those decisions, and now we're paying for it. And I'm a perfect example of that. As I sit here and think about it, I think about things that have happened in my life, and first thing I've done is blame someone else or something else instead of just really understanding that things have happened because of me. And so in order for us to move forward, for me to move forward, the first thing we have to do is understand that things in our life have happened because of decisions that we make. And if we want to change them and make a better life for us down the road, then we have to start taking responsibility and understanding that we can change that. The important thing right now that I just want to stress to people is that you make the decision today to move forward and change how you react to things and do what's necessary to make positive changes in your life. That's to start today. You have to make the conscious decision first. If you don't like the results that you're getting, you can either continue to blame those on other people or events, or you can change the way you respond to those events as you encounter them. So instead of being negative about those responses, find the positive out of those responses. It's that simple. So the point I'm just trying to make here is that we all have an ability to have a better life. We just have to make the right decisions and stop blaming everybody else, and understanding that only we have the power to make a better life for ourselves. Nobody else is going to do that for us. Not the president, not our boss, not our spouses, not our children, not our family. None of those people are going to make those decisions for us. We have to make those decisions on our own. So I hope maybe you guys were able to get something out of that today. And it can help change you guys' life. So love to hear from you guys. So comment below and let me know what you guys thought. And I hope to see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.